Good afternoon, everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene. Hail Mary, meet all of you on this Saturday afternoon. I was going to get a video in earlier, and I didn't get a chance to because I've been doing some odds and ends around here, like domestic responsibilities and things like that. So, anyway, today we're going to talk what's the plans for the equipment here in the studio because I think it's time to start investing more money into equipment upgrades. One of the things I did today, or this morning, was I registered the software that does the overlays for iMovie, and hopefully the seller will get to the registration of the product as quick as possible and get the key out to me so I can get the four products registered. One of them is the Chroma Key static. The other one is Chroma P moving picture, and then there's also the two overlays. One of them is a static image that is you set the picture where you want it to go, and it does nothing else. It doesn't change, doesn't move around or anything like that. And I was able to get the camera to work. With iMovie, with the chroma key static with the photograph, and it was pretty relatively simple. It just turned out that the problem I ran into with it was that you had to turn off the live preview option when you're using it. I don't know why that is with QuickTime, but we did that and it worked fine. In other news, I also tested the Formax Studio video capture device under Debian Linux. It recognizes it, but I don't understand what information I'm supposed to plug in for parameters because I guess because I use a Mac, I've kind of gotten kind of spoiled rotten. Because usually I just basically plug it in, the Mac does all the happy horse hockey, and I don't have to worry about setting up streams and channels and all that. Kind of lost my PC edge there, but that's okay. I don't really like thinking back to PC days. Some of those days were pretty dark. But what's helpful one of those days when people actually gave you a manual that said, here's the information you need. Now go ahead and you can set up your driver to match with these settings and you should be all set to go. So video for Linux does recognize it. The problem is I just don't know what settings I need to put into the card. So I really have a hard time with that. Now I do feel physically better than I did on Friday, Thursday. Thank you. And I suppose that the problem is that for a lot of people they're not aware is that I'm not used to being up in the daytime in the summer because in the summertime I sleep in the day and I'm awake at night. It's a survival mechanism. You have to understand that because for some people being up in the daytime is just okay. I mean, it's part of their life, you know. They enjoy being out there in social environments and they enjoy having the sun and the warmth and the wind in their air and whatever, like a beach scene. Me, I kind of, because I'm also very light skinned, tend to burn to a crisp in the beach. That's why I don't go. But on the other hand, you know, it's just easier for me. I'm very happy at night. For the most part, just doing my own thing at night, just like the Chattanooga Cats used to sing. They're doing their own thing. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Yeah. I mean, ever seen that show? Anyway, if you ever do, it's a cute cartoon series from the 60s, early 70s. It's called Chattanooga Cats. So I guess that's about it. No, I didn't go to the soup kitchen today. Yes, it was today. Yes, Laurel Parade was today too. I didn't participate in that because I was enjoying a nice long sleep. And I got up because I went to bed at 6 in the morning. And I got up about 2 in the afternoon. I got some chores done. I got some coffee. I know I don't have any coffee with me right now. It's because I drank it out a little earlier. And so that's what I did. And besides getting the software registered, I did some computer cleanup. And I got one thing to tell you about computers. I don't know what this. I've been reading about this stuff with the National Security Agency eavesdropping on Americans through their different programs, including PRISM and just naturally being assholes. Um, but I don't really know why our government really wants to know so much about everyday American phone calls. I don't even know why they think that everybody's a terrorist. When the truth is that majority of the terrorists are not going to be using a regular household phone. They are going to be using um, things like, voice over IP. They're probably going to have a triple cipher scramble on it or something like that, where they're going to make sure that that conversation is truly encoded. It's not going to be something like, John and Jane Doe, are going to call up somebody, say, in Saudi Arabia and start saying something. Just because somebody calls somebody overseas doesn't mean they're a terrorist. And I think our government is doing this more or less just to waste money and basically make themselves look useful. My opinion, I think that the American people have got to tell Congress that they're not going to support this anymore. I think we have to tell them that it's time to change your tactics. Dianne Feinstein is saying we're doing it for the sale, salvation, and protection of American citizens. But yet, it's like, Dianne, let me make sure we understand one thing, okay? The American people, under the United States Constitution, under the 4th and 5th Amendment, the 4th covering unlawful search and seizure, which obviously the cell phone business goes under, and house phones too, by the way, it's not just cell phones. And also trying to use persons to incriminate themselves for law officials, which was the 5th was being pulled up because of the guy in Wisconsin was being trying to be told by a judge that he had to unencrypt his hard drives. First of all, let me make this clear. Number one, if you don't want to get anybody looking at your, thinking bad about you, don't encrypt your hard drives. Okay? First of all, there's a lot of reasons why I wouldn't do that anyway. Number one, the first thing is that your hard drives, you encrypt them. What happens if you forget your key? Then you'll never be able to get the data out of those hard drives. Okay? What happens if your hard drives crash? You're not going to get the key out of that either, because it's actually dependent on the bit ciphers on the drive that's going to determine have to, regenerate a new key. So it's not going to work either. So finally, one of the Supreme Court people said, "Oh no, state of Wisconsin, you can't do that because that goes against the 4th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution." Well, actually, it goes against the 5th. Though what's going on with PRISM and the NSA goes under the 4th. The point is our government has been trying to turn our American rights into a joke, and it's becoming quite a tragedy that what they say is to protect us, it really is making us less secure. That's not really a cool solution. That sucks. You can't tell me that that's okay. Our government is not telling us everything. Our government is lying to its teeth. The government is trying to get their own secret little backdoor people who are trying to make the world bigger, thicker, and heavier for their benefit, not yours. And yet, our government has the notorious audacity saying, for example, I've already heard this from several sources. The Housing and Urban Development Section 8 program in several states has been compromised to the point where they are no longer accepting vouchers. Not only are they not only accepting vouchers, but in some areas they're throwing people off the vouchers. Homeless people, low-income people, possibly with families, no money, throwing them off the voucher system because their agency, this is happening in Boston, Massachusetts, because the Housing Authority of Boston, Massachusetts, for example, cannot afford to keep subsidizing people's rent. So people are ending up homeless. And that's causing problems for the homeless programs up in Boston because now the shelters are already packed full and now they're really getting cramped tight. It's happening all around the United States and especially in the metropolitan areas. But it's going to happen to Winston too. It's going to start happening to small town USA, and when it does, that we as a country better come up with a better plan how we're going to deal with the homeless problem. By the way, some good news, however, is that Made in USA is becoming quite popular again, as it's getting too expensive in China to continue to produce products and services. So many manufacturers are beginning to re-examine the idea of U.S.-made goods and services. That's a good poke in the eye to you, Gat. How I hate you thou so much. And you, NAFTA, you suck too, so it makes it equally. But it's 2 points for America, 0 points for China, and 0 points for Japan. Well, that's true, but it's going to take a while to retool and revamp a lot of our factories. It is confirmed that Google will indeed be producing the new Motorola X here in Texas. They are going to be leasing a plant which used to belong to Nokia in Texas for the production of the Droid X. The Droid X will be an American-made phone, which it's easier for us to distribute the phone within the United States to major carriers such as AT&T and T-Mobile. So for that reason, the two providers will have fresh, direct sources of phone without any container shipping to go from one country to another, which means they'll lower the duties and tariffs and, of course, will give American workers jobs. My thumbs up to you guys for doing that, and I hope indeed that it continues to be a trend developing on for all American companies to start bringing back American workers. In other news, the SoftBank, that's SOFTBANK, of Japan, has its eyes on trying to purchase T-Mobile. You want my honest opinion? Stick with Sprint. They need it. They need your money more than T-Mobile does. T-Mobile has just purchased Metro PCS and is doing very well. Okay? In fact, the latest share stock shows that they have clearly had gone up to almost $22 a share at close on Friday. So, it's not exact, but you can take a look at it. I've been looking at the trends. Also, the plans and the uncarrier plans have become extremely popular. The most popular plan is the one for $30 a month, which is the one I'm on. And I gotta tell you, there's two different plans. The first plan is what I call the Talk Lovers. The Talk Lovers plan is 1,500 minutes. It also covers, out of the 1,500 minutes apparently, also texting. So, every text message you send counts against your minutes. Really not a big deal. You only get about 40 megabytes of data, but as I said, it's a Talk Lovers plan. Obviously, if you're using Wi-Fi, it's no big deal for you. The other one's a Data Lovers plan. Data Lovers plan says basically you get 100 minutes of talk, unlimited texting, and you get up to 5 gigabytes of data at 4G speeds. And after 5 gigabytes, data will be reduced to 2G speeds. Well, in the case of Winston, that isn't really that much of a deal because Winston only is 2G anyway. Still, I think it's a good plan. I use it. I have actually tested it by streaming music on it, and it streams music quite fine. I've also used it to watch videos on it with YouTube, although it takes a little more patience to watch videos on 2G. You can do it, but it's a little limited. They are indeed working on refarming the rest of the United States to allow for LTE expansion. Obviously, they're going to start with the big cities first, and then work on the little guys afterwards. I'd be just happy if you get 1900 reform done so I can use my iPhone 3GS so I can watch videos at 3G speed. That would be nice too. Well, that's about it. Yep. And of course, I'd like to remind all of you to please like and share our videos. And also, as soon as the registrations codes come for these iMovie plugins, we will be indeed using overlays and special effects. We can start doing things like adding ticker symbols and things like that at the bottom, or you can just type like a picture over here. So it's kind of cool. hmm So that's about it for me. Well, of course, and don't forget to like and share, and of course, do subscribe to Lemmy's channel. You need to. It's simply enough. Just you have to search for it on YouTube, because unfortunately she doesn't have a nice short name like I have. So search for LUMI space FINISTRA and subscribe to her videos. She's really worked hard on getting her channel up, and she said to me that she wants to add some more stuff in the near future. So that's all for now. See you on the flip side. Bye.